Oh, I think I see it. That looks like gold, baby. Look at that beauty. Today I'm going to talk about the best and most affordable metal detector that I would recommend for gold prospecting. As you can probably guess, it's the Time Ranger Pro from Bounty Hunter. Why? Well, I'm going to talk about that, but first let's go over the must-haves for a gold prospecting metal detector. Metal detecting tutorials, technology, and treasure. The first thing you want to look at is make sure you have a high kilohertz unit. A lot of these units will come in that 7-6 kilohertz range, which is fantastic for coin hunting because those kilohertz hit high on high conductors. However, for gold, that's a mid conductor to a low conductor, so you want a high kilohertz unit, preferably 19 kilohertz. The next thing you're going to need is to be able to ground balance. Gold is often found in highly mineralized soils, so you want to be able to cancel that ground out. And the last thing you're going to want is threshold. The reason being is because you want that threshold to be able to hear those tiny, tiny little targets like most gold. Now the Time Ranger Pro has all of that. This is a 19 kilohertz unit. It has ground balance and it has threshold. Before we get into the setup, I want to talk about a couple of pieces of equipment. Now the Time Ranger Pro comes with an 11-inch double D coil, which again is great for relics and coins. However, we need to outfit this a little bit differently. We want to get a gold bug coil, which is a Fisher gold bug coil. It's a 5-inch coil, which is a little more sensitive to small gold than the stock coil that comes with this machine. Another thing is headphones. You absolutely have to use headphones. The reason being is because unlike coin and relic hunting, you're 99% of the time, you're not going to get a big ripper. I mean, you know, where it's an obvious target. You're going to get a little disturbance in the threshold. If it's windy outside and you're scraping that coil on the ground, you're just not going to hear those tiny, tiny little targets. All right, so we're going to talk about the setup to find more gold. This is your power and your gain, which is sensitivity. Gain, you want to set gain just as high as you can. If you're out in the mountains, you'll probably be able to set that to 100%. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that here because I'm in town. You can see I'm running at 100% and I'm just getting a bunch of false readings. So we need to dial that back. So where I'm at right now, it looks like I'm going to have to be at about 55%. Again, where you are will dictate your sensitivity setting, but aim to get it at 100%. After our gain, we want to make sure that we are in all metal mode, which is your mode here. In the detent, which is fully counterclockwise, is discrimination mode. For gold, we don't want that. We want to go out of the detent. Now you can see my threshold is -40. We want that threshold set just where we can hear a slight hum. So this is the threshold setting you want, that little mosquito buzzing in your ear. And here's what the majority of your targets are going to sound like. So the last thing we're going to do is ground balance this machine. What we do is we hit our menu ground grab button. You bounce it up and down about 5 to 6 inches off the ground towards the ground until you don't get any noise anymore. We've just canceled out ground. The ground is gone. So now we're able to get those tiny little variances and we're not hearing the ground. So now we're going to talk about your swing technique. You don't want it up off the ground like this. Why? Because we are working with inches here, fractions of inches. So you want that coil on the ground. You want to scrub the ground. And that way, you're giving yourself every bit of space you can afford. Scrub the ground. Now, this is a VLF metal detector, and it's important that you understand its strengths and its capabilities. The huge strength of a VLF metal detector over a PI metal detector is that these will hit hard on the tiny, tiny gold. I mean, everybody wants to find big gold, right? But the fact is that most of the gold we're gonna come across is tiny. The thing to remember about VLF and those tiny little targets is you're only gonna get so much depth out of it. We're talking inches, you know, 1 inch, 2 inch, sometimes right on the surface on those tiny, tiny small nuggets. So you want to be able to set yourself up to be as successful as possible. And how do you do that? You're looking for areas that have exposed bedrock or bedrock that is extremely shallow. You want to run this small coil over those crevices and look for the nuggets that got caught in crevices. Another area to check are plant life. If you've got plant life, there's root systems, right? And gold oftentimes gets stuck in those root systems. So scrub around plants. I'm not advocating killing these plants. I'm just saying check around them. Now, I know I said this earlier, but I want to say it again because it's important. Listen, you need headphones. Now, if you're outside in the wind, scraping the coil on the ground, you're not gonna hear 99% of those little gold targets. You are absolutely walking a ton of gold. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I recently found a gold nugget with the Time Ranger Pro, and I got that on a short video. 2.7 gram gold nugget. Fantastic little gold nugget. I'll show it to you right now. Got a good signal here. All right, it's in the spoon. Oh, I think I see it. That looks like gold, baby. Look at that beauty. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I earned your subscription.